Our mission, Helping Parents Heal, is a nonprofit organization dedicated to assisting bereaved parents. Through support and resources offered, we aspire to help individuals become shining light parents, meaning a shift from a state of emotional heaviness to one of hopefulness and greater peace of mind. Helping Parents Heal goes a step beyond other groups by allowing the open discussion of spiritual experiences and afterlife evidence in a non-dogmatic way. Helping Parents Heal affiliate groups welcome everyone, regardless of religious or non-religious background, and encourage open dialogue. Attendance at all of our meetings is voluntary. All discussions that take place at affiliate-led meetings are confidential. We hope that participants will learn from and share with each other. Zoom meetings run by leadership are not confidential. These meetings typically feature guest presenters and are posted on YouTube so that affiliate members worldwide can watch and benefit. Neither type of Helping Parents Heal meeting is designed to replace traditional therapy or spiritual counseling. Helping Parents Heal offers a wide variety of speakers, allowing parents to learn about many possible ways to heal. This includes presenters covering progressive topics such as afterlife evidence and connecting with our children who have passed. The views expressed by our guest speakers may or may not reflect the opinion of Helping Parents Heal leaders and members, so we ask that you take from these presentations whatever may benefit you personally. Welcome, everyone. Thank you, Amy, for being here. It's so great to all of us to be together again this evening.
Yes, it is. And I'm going to read a short bio for Amy so that you guys understand a little bit more about her. She's wonderful, as I say, and she's an accomplished medium, psychic, and teacher. When you have a reading with her, you can expect grace, humor, and down-to-earth style. Her readings are highly accurate, detailed, and empowering. She communicates with the other side in an organized way so that she can bring through multiple spirits and complex messages in each session. Amy is on a personal mission to raise the standard of ethics and professionalism in the mediumship field. She educates consumers through free webinars, blogs, and YouTube videos. Amy has multiple certifications and has been a professional full-time psychic medium since 2009 and has done thousands of readings. Amy is deeply spiritual, but also very grounded in the realities of being a physical being in a physical world. As a teacher, Amy's approach is the whole medium, developing the technical skills of the craft along with personal development for psychological and emotional balance. She's based in the US and she reads for clients all over the world. And you can learn more about her at www.amyutsman.com. And without further ado, please join me in welcoming Amy. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you, Irene and Elizabeth. Are you sure that was a short bio? We need to shorten that even a little bit more.
Than the original one, but yeah.
Oh, good. Who wrote this thing? Okay. First off, it's really an honor for me to be here, and anytime I can be in service, it's really an honor. And I mean that even with each individual reading, it never gets old, and each one is special. I know we've been going through, I would say, an extra hard time this year. If we thought 2020 was hard, 2021 was difficult, it seems like this year seems even more compounded for, there's just lots of things going on. So just a little bit on that, we can only do the best we can to balance ourselves with everything going on around us. But if you could please keep in mind that your loved ones are always connected with you, even if you don't feel them. We all have guides, we all have support from the spirit world. And sometimes recognizing how signs work for us or how connections work for us, it doesn't always seem as clear cut as perhaps sometimes mediums make it out to be, or as seen on TV. TV has to give a representation of how these things work. Now, many of you, I'm not going to presume all of you, but many of you, I'm sure, have heard a medium say they see something, or they feel, or they hear, or they know. And that's how information comes in for me as well. Primarily those four senses, on occasion, smell and taste. And again, it's, you know, when we say we see something, it'll be just a snapshot. When we say we feel, it can be rather quick. When we hear, sometimes it's outside the ear and sometimes it's in your mind, but it will be too fast for you to be making that up. And knowing is just knowing. When you know something, but you don't have a way to explain how you know something. So why am I giving you all of this background? Is what I would like to do is actually do a demonstration of how this works tonight, and then I will go on to a series of readings as well. So the way this works is, I've done this many times over the years, and it can teach us all really a neat way of how these spirit communication works. So I'm going to start with a reading, and then once we get narrowed down to the individual who the reading is for, then I'm going to slow that reading way down and talk through how I'm receiving the information. So you'll kind of get a flavor of what it is like. And then I promise you, I will wrap up that reading for you. You are not going to be just somebody to demonstrate with. Okay. So now, keeping in mind, you know, we've got a lot of people on this group, which is a wonderful thing because you guys are always so supportive of one another. And I know we all want to hear from somebody. At the same time, I think it's important that you be able to take pretty much every single thing I say, so we can make sure that the reading is for you, you know, and try not to provide any more information. Yes, that makes sense. No, that does not. Okay. Or you don't know, because sometimes things come up we don't know. All right. So if you're all good with that, we'll get started, because I have a younger male here who actually came to me earlier, which is not always typical of me. He's late teens, early 20s. What he kept telling me was that he was like studying to be either just starting out to be like a cook / chef, or studying for that. So, and I know that he transitioned rather quickly, and it wasn't of his doing. And he says that there was quite a bit of confusion around his transition. He's speaking to me right now. There was a lot of confusion around his transition. And it's really important to him, because it seems by what he's saying that people suspected that he did this to himself, but that is not the case. So I do feel some substance in his system. I do know that he has at least one sibling here, if not two, but it wasn't an intentional kind of transition. So is there anybody that can take this from this younger male?
So what you need to do, in case you're new, is to put whatever, if you feel that it might be for you, in the chat box, and we will take a look and see if what you're saying matches up with what Amy is saying. Also, it's important to note that, you know, school was not his favorite thing, but the hands-on idea would work really well for him. And I know that his hair was a little bit, how would I say, I'm not so sure it's a full curly, but there's a wave to it. I just saw somebody say they can take, I don't know who that was. Yes, so we have Chris, who's saying that her son was 17. He worked at a Subway. There's a lot of confusion about what caused his death. Mm-hmm. And then Lori is saying, my son transitioned. I can take everything except cooking school, but he was selling chef knives.
Yeah. Okay. The cooking. And,
Laura Miller said her son worked at a frontline cook at a restaurant.
And the confusion and the confusion around his transition, getting that worked out would be important. Who is that, Irene? I'm sorry.
Laura Miller said, could be our son, 22 years old, died suddenly, worked as a frontline cook for a restaurant. But I don't know if there's any suspicion around it.
Yeah, that
There's
would
so
be
many
important. Yeah, there's several people here that can take this. Okay, wow, I thought it was pretty detailed with the cooking.
So wavy hair as well, you said. I haven't put that up there.
The critical part here is the confusion around his transition. That really has to stand out. And the cooking part, those two pieces together. Laura.
Yeah, Laura said fentanyl poisoning.
And there was confusion there as well.
Gosh, they're going so fast.
They are. Chris is going back to this. Okay, can we? Who
would you like?
Chris, let's go to Chris, please, if we could.
Sure.
Because I was kind of drawn that direction.
Okay,
first.
I asked her to unmute. Hi, Chris.
Where she speaks.
Hi, can you hear me?
Oh, there you are. Hi, nice to meet you. Can you take all of that?
Not all of it. He worked at Subway, so he was at study.
It's breaking up.
Yeah, and in a car.
He was 17. It took 5 months to get his autopsy report, and it came back as bronchial asthma, but he never had asthma. He went to sleep and didn't wake up.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that, Chris, because there has to be substance in his system at the time. That's also...
Well, he smoked marijuana. He smoked marijuana, and they thought maybe there was fentanyl in the marijuana cartridge, but there was no fentanyl. Like, he did smoke marijuana.
Right.
Was it that substance?
No, that feels very different. Believe it or not, that doesn't always come across as a substance to me in readings.
Oh, okay.
So, but thank you. And please do listen because,
okay.
All right. And I'm also, okay, let me reiterate and make sure so we can get this, settled in. So I know you all want to hear. He's definitely going to be late teens, early 20s. Cooking and perhaps leaning into studying cooking as well. Confusion around his transition. He did not do this to himself, but when there is substance in the system, we are talking about harder drugs, not marijuana in this case. I guess I should have clarified that for you all. And there's a little bit of a wave to his hair. Also, average builds, not too heavy. Yeah.
So we have Amber saying that her son was a cook at a restaurant, 17, died suddenly. He had wavy hair. Is there any, Amber, could you let us know if there's any question about the passing?
Yeah.
And also Raquel Elizabeth, her son worked at a restaurant, fentanyl poisoning, confusion around it also. So.
Okay, so.
Let me just see if he will tell me who. Let's go to Raquel.
Because Amber saying there is confusion.
And Amber as well. Oh my goodness. Okay.
She said there's still confusion with my son.
And there's a sibling here as well.
Okay.
Brown hair for the person who asked.
So we're going to Raquel, is that right?
Do you want me to unmute Raquel, Amy, or do you want to see if she answers if there's a sibling?
We've got a lot of cooks in the house, so I'm a former chef, so it's not a surprise that he wants to.
Okay, Raquel is saying substances in his system. Let's see, Amber's saying car accident, passed with a friend, drugs in his system. So this is
I'm so sorry.
All right. I asked Raquel to unmute if you want to speak to her.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, Raquel.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm good. I'm glad to that he showed up again. Last time he was first in the line.
Oh, so he likes doing this with you. That's wonderful.
With you. You were
with
the
me.
one who...
Oh, it's probably the cooks in us then, right?
Yes, I guess.
Is it okay with, and he has a sibling here, correct, Raquel?
Correct. He has
Okay.
2 siblings.
Right.
One
Okay.
here, and yeah.
Okay. All right. I lost your picture. Is it okay with you if I talk a little bit, slow down the reading, and then finish off the reading in a typical way?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I can't see you, so I don't know what happened to, there you are. All right. Thank you. All right. So first, let me just say a few things from him. It's interesting, but one of the things he's saying right off the bat is congratulations. So there has to be a need for a congratulations around the family right around now as well. And there's a celebration in regards to this. So, because he's, so that's, and I feel like it would be tied to somebody younger here. So not you specifically, but he's talking about that here. Also, he's very excited because when he gets going, he really can get talking rather quickly. And there's always a little bit of a bounce or a lift to him. He doesn't, I want to keep moving like this. Does that make sense to you? This is just his excitement. And with him, he must have said this before, but he's going to say it again, that he did not suffer in the way it was perceived, is his words. Okay. Not in the way it was perceived. And that word is coming in. So now, because he's such a great communicator, he's the perfect one to do an example of this with. So we're going to slow it down on what anytime I say see, that will be an image coming in. When I say feel, that means I am feeling either his personality or whatever he would like to share. When I know, that is when we know something without knowing how we know. And, like he showed me the word perceived. I saw it like this. So that would be your clairvoyance. Okay. Feeling. Revved up, revved up, revved up. So my light went out. So I'm feeling revved up, revved up, revved up. I know good son. I know troubled at times. I see love left behind. So this is what the picture is like of my marker or celebration of me. Picture, that's the picture. I hear talking. And I know love this way. So coming to me from him, I give and shower family here. And so I can hear singing. I hear singing, but this comes to him, not, okay? And when I put all of this together is he knows how loved he is. People are talking to him, firing away, talking. The revved up feeling is the amount of energy that he always has, right? The giving, the showering down is the love that he's returning here, okay? I see question marks. I feel ache. I know okay. I hear mom. And what he's telling me is in this instance, my mom is questioning if I am really okay. And he's giving me the feeling of the ache in your heart, unfortunately. So do you all see a little bit about how he is doing this? It comes in bit by bit. Now let me finish with you, Raquel, and then I'll explain it a little more, because I want to definitely do honor by this young man and by you. Okay, we don't want to just be an example, right? Because he's a great guy. He's doing wonderfully. Now, I do need to tell you, Mom, that you have to stop worrying so much about the others here. You cannot suffocate them here as though they're going to, another will join him, is what he says. You cannot suffocate them in the fear that another will join them, he says. Okay. Now, he also says that what happened to that great humor of yours, because he says that you can have a little bit of inappropriate humor at times, and he's missing that. So, and he wants to hear it. He says, because, you know, I'm not a child here, so we can share that kind of humor. And he likes to see the breaking of the boundaries, because he thinks it's just so cool that my mom sometimes is not fully appropriate. You understand? Like, so, but he's encouraging that kind of joy from you as well, because he says that there are times, like he's showing me, there are times that you're sitting like what looks to be like the living room or sitting area, and it's a little bit dark, and you're not wanting to get up and turn the light on. You just need to sit there a little more because you are quite fatigued. And he says, but that is going to bring you down even more, you know, so let's turn the lights on. And he says to also to verify and validate. He says verify. I don't want to change his word. He wants to verify to you that on more than one occasion, you practically saw him, Raquel, because it's and he says, why couldn't you believe that was me? You know, he says, you keep asking, and now I show you, and then you say, no, that can't happen. So he wants to make sure that you recognize that was him trying to respect a wish for you, if you will. Okay. Lovely young man, you know, you see how well he's doing. And so let me make sure I give you a lot of love from him. There are some there are some older adults there with him as well. Yeah. And Grandpa. So I just want to make sure, and a couple of dogs as well. And somebody had a cat. Really? So there's some animals there as well with him. And so let me just let you know who has appeared with him. Okay.
Thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to slow it down just a little bit so we could sense. Thank you. You're so welcome. So the reason I wanted to do that just a little bit is because when I slow it down and I just say, see, it's just one thing. It's just one thing. When, you know, I saw the word, oh, I forget what it was. Was it persevere, or it began with the P? You just see it. It will be in your mind's eye. When I had the feeling of all of a sudden, I wanted to keep moving because this young man was really bouncy, okay? But that's all I was feeling in that second. And so as much as you can, think about the way that you naturally learn and you naturally communicate. If you're a visual person, your loved ones will give you an image, you know, and when they give you kind of an image, it will be rather quick. Pause for a moment and say, what else did I feel come with that? Okay, because our feeling will give us a lot of information that we won't always get through hearing and seeing, you know, and so it can come quick, but if we pause just in a moment and ask them to, could you please elaborate for me? Because I want to keep building this connection and really understand how we can communicate together. Could you please give it to me in multiple ways that I understand so we can continue this journey together? Because they want to do it with you as much as you want to do it with them. So I hope that gives you a little bit, just a tiny little bit of insight in what it can be like.
It does, definitely. That was beautiful. And I just want to remind everybody, if you do get a reading, I'm just reaching out to Raquel right now. If you might like to have it in the newsletter, we always love getting these validation stories so that other parents and other families can read about them. And I always ask that a picture be sent as well of your child. And so my email is easy. It's just elizabeth@helpingparentsheal.org. So anyway, if you would like to do that, and let's keep going. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, good. Now we'll go regular. Now we'll go regular. All right. Because I know I have a female here. Okay. Quite younger, and I can see her, you know, just lovely, vibrant, looks to be about, if I had to put an age to it, around 7 or 8 years old. I can see her in a little dress. I will say though, even though I see her in a little dress, I don't want to always keep her in a little dress because she's not afraid to get a little bit dirty, but she also likes to be pretty. She is telling me that she passed from an illness, and it happened rather quick with her. I can see that we would know it under her eyes. Unfortunately, it was a little bit darkness under the eyes when you can tell somebody is not feeling so well. She's also acknowledging that her liver was affected here as well. So can anybody relate? You know what? She looks just a little bit smaller for her age. So there's a petiteness about her. Yeah, so perhaps 7 to 9 age, around there.
So Sarah is saying this, this sounds like it could be my daughter. Okay. Let's see, Kay, yeah. So that's the only
Sarah?
one.
Okay, good. All right. If we could get Sarah.
Okay, she was
Sarah,
7.
she was 7.
Yes,
Okay.
I've asked her to unmute. Hi, Sarah.
Did that work? Hi.
Hi, Sarah. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Hi. Nice to meet you too.
And nice to meet your daughter. Can you relate to everything I've said here?
Yes, so far.
Okay, and it went pretty quickly with her. It wasn't like a whole long, it was like by the time we started to learn and what could we do, next thing you know, right? I'm so sorry. Okay. Look.
Quick in the way of months, not in days.
Yes, months, right.
Okay.
This young girl, I almost want to call her a young woman actually, because she feels older than her youth in many ways, you know, and I even feel like she wants to paint her nails just a little bit, you know, there's that girly part of her. And I know you were speaking to her today because she's telling me. My mom was talking to me today. So I feel like she was actually wanting to grant you a wish. Now, I don't know if you were planning on attending, but she says that she wanted to grant you a wish. But this is not the first connection with her today, she's saying. So something, look, you look nice and tan, but something would have happened throughout the day that would have been unexpected, but you would have known it is from her because she puts it right in front of your face and she is clapping because she says that my mom always gets it, but you don't always feel like you always get it, but you do. Now, also with her, great appreciation for her family and how much everything was what they tried to do for her, but yet I feel like she was the one trying to comfort everyone at the same time. Strong young girl.
Absolutely.
Really strong. And an example to so many. And I mean, I know that she was rather fatigued prior to her transition, but she goes out almost like with a smile, like how, you wonder, how can she be so strong? But she says, I already knew that I wasn't going to be here long. And so she says, yes, I already was ready because that was just part of my path. Now, in many ways, she is a grandmother still here. Is this correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Because she goes and visits her often too, because I see the hand there. And she says, you know, those two are the ones that talk together about me the most. And so she really, really loves it, you know, and she says, don't think about having to she doesn't like acknowledgements of like the anniversary of her transition, not that, only happy things, right? And I'm understanding from her that it looks like somebody wanted to plant a tree or did a plant for her, but they don't have a really great green thumb. Is that right?
Yes, that's true.
Okay. And so she says, but don't worry, I will bless it to keep it here.
Okay. I just tried to really water it last week. It looks like it's going to die, but
she's going to save it, she tells me. So she wants you to know this. And yes, also she's sharing with me here that there's a little bit of discord within the family. And she says, but don't worry, that is all going to bring come together the right way. Okay. She says everybody can, I like her, she's just a little bit snarky, right? Because she says, can you believe everybody is still falling apart since I'm over here? But for us, time is different than on the other side. And so she says, don't worry, it's all because people are feeling the pain of me, but they're all going to come back together. And Mom, you don't need to overdo it and be the one. You understand?
Yes, absolutely.
I love her so much. I mean, these kids are always so amazing to me. You know, they're just really, really great. I need to give you a big hug from her in only a way that she can, because when she gives somebody a hug, it's those arms and you take it in. So please let me share that with you from her, and really a great deal of love. But she is fantastic. She is on it. And yeah.
Thank you so much. I really needed that today.
You're
beautiful.
welcome. And the number 21 is coming in around her. So I'm not actually sure how to place that, but the number 21 is coming in. So if you could take that as she leaves.
And bringing me lots of numbers.
Lots of numbers. Okay, good. 421. Watch for the 421, she says.
Okay.
Okay, that's very different. So, but she is a little bit different herself, isn't she?
She is.
Spicy for her age. I love it.
Very spicy. Oh,
Yeah.
that was so beautiful. Thank you so much. I so appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. It's really, thank you. All right, take good care.
Thanks.
Okay.
That was beautiful. Goodness gracious again. So let us know how we can help you find the next person.
Yes. We've got several people here, so just wanting to support. There's like a young males group. This is really rather interesting. There's a young male, and he has a friend with him on the other side as well, because I can see the way they're standing together, one arm over the other. You probably could see a little bit of a confused look on my face. So it would be not a typical presentation, but hey, that's what they're about, right? Okay. Let me see if I can really sort this out, because what I'm hearing, so first off, they're both speaking, which I always love because they tease me. But two people in this group have become really, have become friends. One moment. I want to make sure I get this right and not presume. This is where you don't want to go into your mind and put your conscious mind to make the story correct, because we're really good at this. But these are friends. These are absolute friends. So I'm going to stick with what they're saying. And so they knew each other for quite some time here, almost like one could not do without the other. So it's like a brotherly tie, but clearly friends. They did not transition exactly the same way either. But I mean, they're just really close. And a lot of people would have at times mistaken them. They don't really look like brothers, but people would sometimes mistake them for brothers, is what they're saying. So these are not father, son, my dear. These are two young men, that are friends here. And they would have passed, yeah. They're like best friends, don't look like brothers, but people might mistake it. And on occasion, when they were a little bit younger, they would sometimes dress alike, which they thought was really silly.
Okay, well, we have a lot of people answering here. There's first of all, Wendy's saying my son and his friend passed within 1 week of each other. And then let's see, not father and son. Let's see. My son was like a brother to his friend. This is Diana.
Julie also.
Beth is saying Gavin and Nick passed in a car accident.
They would have been like, I know they would have known each other like in middle school, but then been older than that when they transitioned. Okay, but not what we would consider all the way to adulthood. So
Elena is saying her son transitioned in a falling accident and his best friend was killed in a motorcycle accident. Julie is saying Corey and Brett, best friends. Brett could not go on without Corey. So let's see.
But they would have passed differently. I'm thinking about the one who fell in the motorcycle accident.
Okay, that's Yelena. So should we go ahead and unmute Yelena? Would you like to have us do that?
I just want to, I'm sorry, it's not Yelena. I've just been told it's not, so I'm so sorry.
Okay. No worries. It's good that they're able to tell you. Let's see.
I'm interested in the Tyler and Zach Carol Allen.
Yes, I was wondering about that, but they passed the same way. I don't know, is Carol on here? Yes. His best friend passed exactly the same way. When you said that, I thought, okay, I'm not going to call her. If she's on though, we could definitely see.
I saw her right in here.
Yes. Hey, Carol, I asked you to unmute.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, here you are. Hi there.
Hi.
You say they passed exactly the same way, but there still has to be a difference in it. So if they both took responsibility, there was a difference in methods or how.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And you can
I mean, yeah, I won't, but.
Right. Oh, right. Okay. Right. And you understood everything else?
That like, they were best friends and they knew each other from elementary school and they used to sometimes dress alike. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Because, and you were the one that said Tyler and Zach, was that you? Because yes. That feels right to me. Okay. Yeah. And one's a little bit taller than the other and they're not exactly the same height, right? Okay.
Yes.
All right. And Tyler is with you. Is that right? Tyler is your son?
Mm-hmm.
And then Zach would be your friend's son, or right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And Zach's mom is not here tonight. Is that correct?
She's not on, I don't believe.
Okay. Could you pass on to her that he showed up as well? Could you please?
Mm-hmm.
Because they can rely on you is what I'm hearing. And I know I haven't said much, but I'm hearing that they can rely on you. And I know one of the things that Tyler is saying is that we always put my mom in hard positions. So perhaps they use you often to try and get messages to other people, because he says we always put my mom in hard positions, but we do that because we know that she will do it. Does that make sense to you? So, yeah. And you know, these two are really quite something, because it's like open door policy at both homes. It's just like they're there or they're here, or they're there, they're here, you know, and they love that freedom of their life. You know, they really did. And it's important because so Tyler transitioned first before Zach, is that right? Okay. Right. And what I'm hearing is if there's, you know, this is important for Zach to say that Tyler's passing was not necessarily an influence on him. That has to be sorted out, he says. Okay.
Okay.
And there wasn't like a pact or anything, but that has to be sorted out, he says, because he doesn't want undue influence.
Okay.
With Tyler and you and the families, because the families are really intended to still keep vacations together, is what Zach is saying, you know, or
mm-hmm.
keep lives together. He says they have to keep going on. And he says he doesn't like, I notice Zach is doing most of the talking to you. And he says that he doesn't, it's hard for them to watch the awkward moments, but it's not awkward either. So it's a little bit confusing by what Zach is saying, but are you understanding it? Because I'm not fully. Moments of being awkward, but still continuing on as friends.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. As long as you understand it is more mm-hmm. important to me than me understanding it. Okay. And Tyler is telling, you know, they just go back and forth, right? It's like having two sons here in a way. Yeah. So Tyler is saying to me that you're in the process of making a big change. So some kind of work thing or a big change is what he's saying, that you're in the process of changing up things. Is it, you understand what he's talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He says that, oh my gosh, he's really funny. You know, they like to tease because he says, stop looking at yourself and making sure you look good for everything. Okay. It's not about how you look for things, but make the steps that you're getting the inclinations to make the steps for these changes.
Okay.
Are you understanding that? Because he's a little bit.
I am. Yeah.
Okay.
I understand. All right,
as long as you understand it. Now, Zach is showing me that there was a birthday, like so, but this looks like a birthday in the spirit world, not one here, by the way that Zach is acknowledging. So I don't know if you know his family well enough, but there would be a birthday in the spirit world, Zach is telling me. So,
okay.
you know, I don't know if you know, but maybe you can check.
I know what they're talking about. Yes.
Okay. All right. Because it's
Zach's grandma is shares the same birthday as Tyler, and it's coming up. It will be coming up soon.
Okay. All right. And she's on the other side because the way Zach is telling me. Okay. Yeah. All right. Interesting way they did that, isn't it? So okay. Now with Tyler, because of the way the birthday has come up and you've mentioned it, he says no big hurrahs. Okay. He says, only when I was here did I like a lot of things, but now I don't need a lot of things, you know? And, you know, for him, and we will hear this a lot, but what he would really like is the funny memories of him. And he says, get out the really silly photos of me. And he says, those are what I want around. He says, that's better than those silly banners that we used to put up for birthday. You know, the little streamer banners.
Yes.
And not that we're suggesting you put those up, but he says, have those come out. He says, because I'm even better than when I was here. And so he says that if you all could do that, he says, then we all have a party together. Okay. So I know it's not always so easy, but this is his recommendation, if you will. And I know that you do feel his touches. You're Carol, right? Yeah. I know you feel the touches from him. And because he's giving them to me, he says sometimes here, sometimes here. So he kind of touches you all about. And he says, now, you ask me questions, but you don't wait for the answer. Because he says that when you ask me a question, then you go on to the next thought. And so how are you supposed to hear my answer if you're already thinking ahead? So when you ask him a question, if you could just slow down a little bit and say, okay, Tyler, I'm giving you a moment to answer my question. You know, he says, then I can get my way in.
Okay.
Okay.
Makes sense.
and one of the things that he's showing as well is that it looks like you're trying to meditate to sometimes make that happen as well, or clear that out. He says, I'm not always going to come in there. So, you know, meditation is great for all of us to practice those connections and things. But for Tyler, he's too quick for that. So you might get bits of him sometimes, you know, but it won't be every single time. So he's really about listening, coming into mind, and then the touch. So it's I love that he's giving you that way. All right, you know, they have to go now. So and they always one with the arm around the other. So there has to be a photograph of the two of them like that.
Yep, there is.
Because of the way that they're standing. So
yes.
So they are turning around and they are disconnecting. I thank you so much from Zach as well. But they say, you know what to do. So we'll let you do what you need to do from them. And you know what? A lot of love to you from them as well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That was beautiful. Thank you.
You're more than welcome.
Yes, that was wonderful. Goodness gracious, and easy to find. So
yes, that's even better, right? They can be so.
Two great kids, that's for sure.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, would you like to, let's see, what time is it? We still have 15 minutes.
Yeah, we could still do another one.
Okay.
Here, depending on how fast it goes, maybe even two.
Okay, great.
Okay. I will always say names is not my strong suit, but I'm hearing the name Mary over and over and over again. So I am hearing Mary, and I believe this is Mary on the other side, because I am seeing I would place her like in her 20s, mid 20s, and fixing the hair. She doesn't like to wait. But yeah, and Mary. I mean, the Mary is either the Mary is the mother here or Mary her, because the way that she's broadcasting it. But flipping her hair like this as she waits. I want to say waits patiently, but she's not exactly so patient. Oh, I need more from her though, if she wants to get this to, there has to be, I mean, there's a lot of people here. So of course there's going to be a name Mary here. Who said Meg with somebody Mary just now?
Let's see. Cheryl is saying Meg, her twin in, let's see, Mare. Excuse me.
And what? Yeah. What was the name of the person here that just said that?
Cheryl McDonald. Her twin is Mare. So
wait, her twin is Mare. No, no, I'm sorry. That's not who this is. Okay. Yeah, but thank you. But this is not who this is. One moment while we start this, because I need more from her. For somebody who's so showy, she's a little bit quiet too.
We have
I see. She's okay, here's the thing. She's concerned about causing more sadness, and I don't feel like she's ever connected with anybody quite this way before. So I do see cigarettes as well. So I know she would have maybe smoked a little bit while she's here, maybe not regularly, maybe hid them a little bit. She vaped, okay, but not all the time. This is not secretly. Okay, is that Patty that said that?
Yes.
Yeah, she's saying.
And
her daughter is Marie.
Yep, okay. And Patty, you've not connected, she's not connected with you before in a reading, would that be right?
Let's see.
And Lisa is also chiming in. That's kind of a big thing. Like she's concerned about.
No, she hasn't.
Okay, that wouldn't be her.
Okay.
And then there's Lisa as well. Always had her cigarettes. This young woman is not connected in a reading before. That's kind of a standout for her. Lisa. Okay. All right. Let's go to Lisa then. Thank you.
Okay. Good.
Okay, Lisa, what is the last name? There's so many, it's scrolling and we've got five Lisa R. Okay. Okay, I've asked her to unmute.
Hi.
Oh, hi. It says Robin, but you're Lisa?
I'm Lisa.
Okay, all right. Okay, nice to meet you. And nice this is your daughter, is that right?
Yeah, but she's Maya, not Mary. I don't know if
Mary. Okay, all right. I can accept that because I don't get anybody's name on good day. So, but I can take that in. The key part about this was she's never connected in a reading with you before. And the appearance thing, right? You can understand the always, okay. And so you're somewhat new to this, my understanding with her as well. Is this correct? Because this is kind of what she's saying. So either you're stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit or.
This is my first time coming to one of these readings and it's a little out of my comfort zone, I would say.
Okay, all right. So we have the right person.
I connected with her before, but more spontaneous.
Yourself, but not this way. Okay,
right.
We have the right person. All right. So first thing, number one is it's almost like you all were friends at times is what she's giving, you know, because there's a real closeness here. And, you know, I know, and I'm sorry that you're dealing with this, but I know that you feel like more than half of you is gone since she's on the other side, right? Because she says, you put too much emphasis on me, but what about you? I'm fine, but what about you? You know, and she hasn't really left your side hardly at all since she's been on the other side. You know, we do things on the other side. We're very busy, but we stay very connected. But with her, she's very protective of you. Okay, very protective, because she says, I have to keep you up and going in the same way you kept me up and going, you know. And she says that you keep revisiting and reliving some of the things that could have been done differently in your mind. And she says, but no, we couldn't change that now. And, you know, I mean, when you look like in her room, like over a mirror, there was always all this stuff hanging on it. I mean, her room is very busy, right? Like of the mirror, she always has things up. And she says, just remember me fixing myself in the mirror and looking all good before I go out. That's how I want to be remembered. And she says, but I'm still that same person. Now, I know this is going to be a little bit difficult to accept, and it doesn't dive into your pain, but what she's wanting to do is really give you as much of a, she's calling it a star boost. So, you know, a boost of energy is what she's trying to do. It's just, she's calling it a star boost though. So that's her phrasing, not mine. Never heard anybody say that. And so she says that if you can just take that in, and for goodness sake, Mom, change your shirt. So she said that you haven't been dressing your usual without her, but I do know that you do have some of her clothes, and some of them still have a little bit of her fragrance in there. And she says, that's okay when you smother yourself with it, you know, it's like you put it on your face. And she says, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And she says, don't feel like you're being silly, or don't even feel like you're being a cliche. Because she says, that's one of the things that you worry about, is that I'm being a cliche person. Is this stuff kind of real? And she says, isn't it though? So you're not being a cliche by wanting to smell her clothes or anything like that, okay? Because she says that besides, she always thought she smelled pretty good anyhow. So except for a night, maybe when there was too much smoke around or that kind of thing. So, you know, she's having a great time on the other side, very free to be her. She needs you to know that she's been completely accepted in a way that she didn't know was possible. And that's key. So, and she says that if you can even begin to understand, and she says, oh, no, but you do. I'm like, what are you doing here? She's correcting me. She's so cute, because she says that you accepted me as I was, and they're accepting me as I am. And right back down to the triangle, she's accepting you as you are. And so she says, let me help take care of you now, because I don't need it. Okay. I want to draw a purple heart for you. So she must like the color purple pens, or the color pens, you know, that people sometimes do, because she wants to draw it in purple. I can't draw a heart, but she wants to draw like a little heart for you. Just nothing in it, but purple. Okay.
Her sister's color is purple.
Ah, okay. So she wants to give you that as well. All right. Like flood yourself with it. And she says, don't worry. I'm helping keep you every step of the way, but I need you to dress nice every day. So just to tease you with that a little bit. All right. So let me give you a lot of love from her. And there's an aspect here of you and your other daughter. It's not the same relationship, but in some ways it is. And so she says survival together. Okay. So let me give you a lot of love from her. All right.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, and all the best to you and your family.
Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Always so fun to hear these validations. So I don't know if you have time.
I know, because it's
left.
I'll take a question from somebody. Maybe we take a question or two in the last 5 minutes.
That sounds good. Does anybody have a question that you would like to ask of Amy? And if so, just write it in the chat box, because we would love to have her answer it. Okay, Kathy's asking if you can tell about exit plans. Could you maybe say something about that?
Okay, that's exit plans. Well, that's kind of broad.
For just 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's kind of broad. I don't know. I mean, I can touch on it a little bit. I don't know if you mean our planned exit plan or which way we choose. Here's what I will tell you about exit plan. First and foremost, I think it's really important that we honor the journey of the soul. So we often think of our loved ones or our children's, as the physical beings they are, forgetting that we are souls. And once we can start to really recognize and honor the journey of the soul, then we can, it doesn't always take the pain away, but we can see it a little more objectively. And just like we try to plan our day, every soul has a plan here. And I know many of you would have heard that, but I think that's kind of the best way to very briefly talk about an exit plan.
That's good. That's a very good job. We have a lot of other questions. Let's see. For instance, this is one from Diana, and I think it's a good one for all of us. I used to hear my son, but now I don't. Is there a reason why? Excuse me.
Okay, that was Diana, is it?
It's Diana. Mm-hmm.
Diana, okay. Sometimes when this happens, Diana, it's multiple things. Number one what was coming up for me with you and your son is you've actually elevated your connection stronger, that you don't need to rely just on that one sense. So you've actually broadened out that connection with him. So that's my understanding with him and you. And that is coming in a little bit psychically, but there are times that we will hear them more than others or feel them more than others. That doesn't mean that they don't love us as much. Remember, they're also growing on the other side as well. And, also that the footprints in the sand, like the time I needed you the most is like, when I was carrying you. That's a very true statement, because we may not feel them when we need them the most. So in that case, if you're having a period of time where you feel like you really need a sign from them, I will say, please give it to me in a way that I can absolutely hear it and know it's from you, because I need it, and they will.
That's a beautiful answer. And I think that in the beginning, I found that the signs were coming fast and furiously. And I think that it was because Morgan really wanted me and my husband to know that he was with us. I think they get busy. I think they get lots of other things that they can do. They can be in multiple places at the same time, but right. I think that they also have other activities. And so it's nice to think about our kids doing stuff that they love and not necessarily hung up on sending us signs all the time, constantly.
Well, they're busy. And if any of you have, we have a couple of family text groups, and inevitably there will be a day where every person is texting in, I'm thinking about so-and-so today, and everybody gets it in the same thread, usually within the same 2-hour time frame. So because they're all connecting, the same person is connecting with all of us at once. So it's really a neat thing to kind of pay attention to when you hear more than one person saying, so-and-so was on my mind today too. So that's always kind of neat to watch out for.
Beautiful. And we have one more minute, and maybe if you could just give us a little bit of information about how we can better connect and feel the connection with our kids, just something to encourage us in this practice.
Yeah. So the first thing I always would like to say is whatever your strongest sense is, when you get your signs, your first starting of signs, build off of that. Once you build off of that, so for example, if you can always feel them, I know I just feel them, build off of the feeling and say, okay, now I'm understanding that I'm feeling you correctly. Can you give me a picture or a sound or a song, anything like that? And once you start to build off of that, what you're actually doing is sharpening your own intuitive senses, because we all have the ability to connect with our own loved ones, period. It is our right to do so.
Oh, that's beautiful. So yes, we are probably the best people to connect with our kids, but until we know how to do it, it's nice to be able to depend on people like you, Amy. And we're just so grateful that you were here this evening. Thank you so much for coming. And thank all of you in Helping Parents Heal for being here. All of the people who got readings, please, please, please send me a write-up, a validation story so that I can add it to the newsletter. It's a great way to thank Amy, and it's also a really great thing for other parents to be able to hear about how this works. So
Thank you.
Elizabeth,
thanks, Amy.
Yes.
Thank you, Amy.
Okay.
And I can't do it without Irene and Elizabeth. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tomorrow.
Bye.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you soon. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Thank
Gracias.
you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Gracias, Amy.